I've also been thinking about, naturally, the unusual time that we're in, and just thinking, I've had this image, and maybe it's because we're here in the mountains and I love the ocean, and I've been thinking about waves, about ocean water and all of that. And I grew up in Southern California in Los Angeles, and we went to the beach quite often on the weekends. And so I was familiar with it and got familiar with waves and how to deal with that and all of that. And I remember as a kid, you'd look out at the waves and you'd think, oh, I don't know. And then you just get hit by a wave. In other words, you wouldn't know how to deal with it. And so what I learned as I grew up was how to deal with those waves and how to have fun with them, how to really not just get bowled over by them. And so what happens is that with waves, there's basically three options. One, you stand there and get creamed. The next one is that if you surf or body surf, you can ride the wave. You can be in the energy of the wave, and on a surfboard, you're even on top of the water. So you're riding the wave. But there's always the thing that you have to be able to pull out of that wave. You have to know when that moment is, and you have to pull out of it safely. But there's a third way that I, as a kid, tuned into, and I really enjoy this image. And this is where you dive under the wave. Because there's usually a lot of water there, and if you catch it before that you get caught in the curl of the wave, you can just dive under it and miss all that tumult, all that action that's happening. And sometimes you just dunk down. Sometimes you'll feel the tumult on your head, but you're not bowled over by it. You're not disturbed by it. And also, it's important to know that waves usually come in sets. So even if you dive under one, you have to be prepared for the next one that may be coming. And it may be fairly large. When you're in the water and a wave is 5 feet high, that's pretty tall. And so there can be this fear. But if you understand how to do it, you can flow with that. And I thought, the waves are like, I'm just going to use this as the image that came to me. The waves are like what's happening in the world today. There is a lot of tumult. There is a lot of action. And it's all different kinds, kind of like in that marketplace that Yogananda was in. All different kinds of consciousness, all different kinds of reactions to what's happening in the world, everything going. And it can be chaotic, it can be disturbing, it can be stressful, fearful, but we don't have to stay in that part of the wave. We can dive underneath. And that, to me, is when we understand how to go deeper, one in meditation. And it's not that you need to go super deep, but you need to meditate. And that diving into that ocean, it's the ocean of spirit. And so we can dive into that where, yes, we know there's the tumult going on, but we're able to go through that in a better way and not get so pulled out of ourselves.